Hi, I'm Peter J. Ray. Welcome to Adventures in History. Today's topic is Lacey family poetry. This was originally published as a Zook Family Memories Collection, or ZFMC number 11, published on July 21st, 1988. And these are poems from Helen Zook Lacey, her most prized possession, a book called The View from Where I Stood. And Helen Zook Lacey was my father's mother's sister. And these poems are poems of her two sons, Steve and John Frederick, and two of her grandchildren, Greg and Liz. And also there's an essay that she wrote about their home, Lacey Woods, in Glen Lake, Michigan. The first poem is by Steve Lacey, the son of Helen Lacey. Quote, This was a Thanksgiving prayer written by Stephen Lacey at his first Thanksgiving in Fishkill, New York. Quote, For the food on this table, today and every day, for the light of day and dark of night, for the smell of rain and the touch of snow, for the quiet kindness of those gathered here, for all these things, which are only real in the sure knowledge of Thee, we give thanks, Lord. Okay, and the next poem is a poem for Helen Zook Lacey on Mother's Day, 1955, by her son, Steve Lacey, age 21. Quote, In all the years of life's fitful turning, since I was but a child sleeping near you, in the quiet of each day's dawn and sunrise, I have cherished the beauty that only you possess, a beauty filled with the softness of sleeping birds, which rest amid the green-fringed boughs of cedar, turning with the wind's gentleness in their languid sleep. So I turned as each new moment of life's newness awoke before me in those quiet years of tenderness, when I was but a child sleeping near you. The years of people, places, and things, when and where, have moved me quickly in time's infinite changing, and the bloom of spring that burst upon me, young in my love, filled ways I have traveled, the path you set before me in those childish days, when all was new and sunlight and green grass, blowing beneath white clouds in a bright blue sky. I have wandered down love's moonlit path, and have touched the rain of sorrow's tears, looking always to the answer to myself. Yet I have found only a star's silver light, forever pure and shining in the dark, still night. There in that star, silently and wonderfully, the image of you and the beauty of you beckons me down the path of love, across the bitter sting of thorns scattered, along the years of time's weariness before me. And I know I must live my life as you have, filled with love and hope, till the winter snow of death's shadow falls upon me, like the quietness of a child sleeping near you long ago. And the next poem is by John Frederick Lacey, the other son of Helen Lacey, and the title is Together. Antlers tough, scarred, a stag was standing alone. Pine needles pierced the air. A stagnant pond nearby. This is where I am, solitary, amidst a vital fragrance and stagnation. Children growing, needful but unneedful of me. What now? Vital, unfulfilled even now, still. A doe, rich, deep there came. Was this again the sameness of the past? No. A natural being she was. His instincts flowed, his mind congealed. What now? Two look, are briefly seared, then locked tight together. Not alone now, yet alone. Pine and crisp air. No need now, only to be and move in this certainty. John Frederick Lacey. And the comment by his mother, quote, by Helen Lacey, beautiful. Now here's a poem by Greg Lacey. Complete name is Gregory Lacey. When he was grade 4, age 10. And the title is The Northwest Coast. Quote, "The Northwest Coast has lots of hills and rocks, and on the coastline, lots of rocks. And way far away, there is a lighthouse. But it's so far away, it looks like a mouse. And in the blue sea, the waves are all white. And off in the distance, the lighthouse lights. And I wish I could go to the Northwest Coast. And then to my friends, I really could boast." By Greg Lacey. Okay, the next poem is Glen Lake, 1952, by Stephen Zook Lacey. Quote, "I am alone with the stars, the shimmering silver spots, sprinkling the heavens with light. Light eternal, light. If I could just once be a cloud moving slowly, in the sheer ecstasy of the stars, balancing between the earth and the moon, moving rapturously across the starry heaven, feeling their glow devour me with its radiant light, crossing galaxies of silver points, falling with them as they plunge earthward, but never reaching it, disintegrating into the splashes of silver gleaming. Oh, if night could conquer me and carry me with her forever among the stars. People sleep when night is waking, when her many bright glowing eyes scatter their light over the earth. Earth's people heed not but sleep. I sleep with the stars that caress my brow with peace. With the soft glow of eternal peace, may you open your eyes forever, O night. Cover the earth with your light. Saturate it with your peaceful glow, until earth heeds your light and is at peace, as I am now." Stephen Zook Lacey. And the next poem is Soliloquy of Remembrance, Aspen, 1953, by Steve Lacey. Quote, "The rain falls gently, quietly, as the teardrops break forth, overflowing from the cloudiness of my heart, falling softly from the mirrors of the very soul of me, until they echo the quiet gentleness without. The beauty that is perhaps love, which has plucked ever so gently the youthful strings of my own naivete, thrusts now through these clouds of you, piercing my heart with a forgotten passion, until softly as the rain still falls, the clouds of my heart lose their melody, oh softly, and become but rising, silent sigh." Stephen Zook Lacey. Here's a poem by Elizabeth Lacey, or Liz Lacey, age 15, Southampton, Massachusetts. Quote, "Here I will remain, never to look again for the place I've never been." Liz Lacey. And here's another poem by Elizabeth Lacey, Liz Lacey Osler, and the title is Death Cry. "Give me surrender, leave me of this hold. I want to go now to the place I've never been. I want peace now. Give me surrender. Take me from this pain to the place I've never been. I've lived my life long, now it must end. I've traveled many worlds, but now I want to go to the place I've never been. Give me strength to survive this fateful trip. Pull me through this suffering, so I may go to the place I've never been. I am here now. I have surrendered. The pain is gone." And here's a comment. This is by Elizabeth Lacey. Now, a comment by her grandmother, Helen Zook Lacey. "Much talent is shown here. Use it, dear granddaughter." Helen Zook Lacey. Now, here's a poem by Steve Lacey. The title is The Christmas Story. "Snow filters endlessly over the quiet ground, like diamonds broken and dropped gently round. Lights and candles increase the night's frolicsome delight, and uplifts the green Yule tree's branches, to proclaim a spirit of right that burst forth on the world of mechanical chances, lifting man to greater being from his lowly level of unseeing. In a manger placed in a stable bare, a child was born of a virgin fair, and pure of body and of mind. Kings and shepherds all felt the radiant rapture of this new child, drawing them on until the greater mind, traveling far, they searched to find. They wished not to be treacherously beguiled by the falseness of a proclaimed Messiah, who would bless and touch and heal and save. All men like a past prophet, one called Jeremiah, yet they felt this was the Son of God, for they knew not what carried them over weary days they had never trod. When they, those kings, wise men, and shepherds, all stumbled on the humble stall, they fell upon their knees and heard the angels sing of God and make holy their forgotten pleas. Glory to God on high, peace on earth to man. Hallelujah. Written by Stephen Zook Lacey, 20 years old. Now we have the essay written by Helen Zook Lacey about their home in Michigan, Lacey Woods. And the title is The Wisdom of Folly. Such was our own Lacey Woods. It was the outgrowth of John and Helen on their honeymoon at Lake Placid, New York in 1925. Helen, always a romantic, or we wouldn't have been at lovely Lake Placid in the Adirondacks. Lake Placid on our honeymoon, young, in love, only enough money to get us back to Marion, Ohio, our roots and family growing up. Quietly boating around the shores of Lake Placid at the lilac twilight of woods and water, I suddenly realized that sometime, somewhere, I should have to find such a place while yet on this earth. 20 years later, when vacationing in northern Michigan, the dream of years suddenly broke the family cocoon I had been living in, with 2 fine sons joining in the family awakening. I knew I had found it, disbelieving that people really lived on those dreamy shores, deep in the woods, still wild and virgin in appearance, warm lights shining through that quiet beauty. That was all I needed, with a good and responsive husband enjoying my rebirth. Before the week was over, a 200-foot lot on Little Glen was ours. It was just as the Indians had left it, turquoise, azure, blue-green like a rainbow of colors because of the glistening white sandy bottom, revealing all of the colors of the encircling shores and sky and hills above and dunes beyond. It didn't seem like a folly at the time, but the inevitable experience I had to have to expand and become my real self. It was all there and mushroomed into an unbelievable long cedar and pine cottage by summer of the following year. 40 trees had to be cut down to open an area for our woods, home, and driveway. John, our eldest son, saw to this, designing the lovely drive that curved down from the road above to the opening where our home was to be built. All the time the glistening, sparkling waters of Glen shone like a jewel through the soft greens. A folly can be not only for personal pleasure, but also to express love and devotion. The Taj Mahal is the finest example, a tribute to a lost love and longing. In a more cheerful mood, Lacey Woods came into being. A folly is not a folly, but an extension of oneself, and so it was with Lacey Woods. Not only the pleasure it brought me and my family. Inside a large, square living room with 4 areas for living, the very huge, sculptured, colored Michigan granite boulders forming an entire half wall. In one corner, a door leading into the bedroom and bath beyond. The music corner held a huge old German piano, looking out upon the woods through a large picture window, bringing the woods, trees, driveway, and hill leading up to the road above, where the deer slept in the winter. Beds of rocks, begonias, and cedars framed the home. All of this came into view as the lovely strains of cello, piano, and mostly Chopin and Brahms enriched the many lovely bird songs. How beautiful was the perfume of the night woods in the moonlight, turning the forest and world of nature's wild things into an unforgettable vision of unreal beauty. A small kitchen corner filled the other corner, a long pine dining table beyond, followed by the Dutch door entrance to the large screened-in porch. A door from the porch led out to a pathway, rock-lined with a hemlock small hedge leading to the lake. Here people, friends, family shared unmeasurable joys of this real world God created, often sharing their real selves, if only for a short time. A place where I found out who I was, a house of intimate conversation, a feeling of being enclosed in a safe forest, seen only by woodland creatures. Now I am no longer there. No matter what happens to it, the stalwart beauty of our fireplace never fall or disappear. The quiet beauty of the myriad tiny forget-me-nots I scattered to the wind before leaving, will always speak of all who love it, and the wisdom that dwells always with us who have loved and come to life there. The pleasure it has given us is the very essence of folly. P.S. 15 years later, I returned to find it restored and rebuilt in a fine way. A family of 2 boys, mother and father, reliving all the glory it began with so long ago. They greeted me with love and appreciation, aware of the essence of love, art, and beauty that had built it long ago. Helen Zook Lacey. Now we have 2 comments on the original publication. The first is from Augusta Smallshaw, my mother's mother. Quote, I finished reading Helen's writings about the Lacey home in the woods, and I think she missed her calling. She should have been a writer. How she could elaborate about the Lacey hut in the forest. Really good. Augusta Smallshaw, Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada. And the next comment is from John S. Ray, my father. Quote, it was a real joy to read the lovely poems written by the Lacey family members. Helen Lacey should get a great deal of pleasure from this issue. They all have real artistic talent. Thank you for putting together this most memorable issue. John S. Ray, Rocky River, Ohio. So that concludes today's presentation, Lacey Family Poetry. Good luck to you with your efforts in family history. If this interests you, finding, preserving, and sharing old letters, diaries, and photographs, and interviewing elderly relatives while they're alive. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. God bless you. Take care, and I'll see you next time.